Punishment in BDSM is not just about correction. It's a delicate interplay of psychology, erotic tension, and emotional depth. A dominant with high emotional and erotic intelligence understands that punishment is both a psychological and physical experience. It's a moment where power dynamics crystallize, reinforcing boundaries while deepening trust. When executed with skill, punishment scenes can strengthen the submissive's devotion, increase their desire to obey, and fortify your dynamic. But to wield punishment effectively, a dominant must understand the deeper layers of discipline, the mind games, the anticipation, the unspoken communication, and the careful balance between authority and care. And that's exactly what this video is all about. So let's jump into it today. Punishment is not about making a submissive suffer. It's about allowing them to experience the consequences of their choices. I'll say that again. It's about allowing the submissive to experience the consequences of their choices. And yes, it's a powerful act of love to allow someone to confront the consequences of their own misbehavior or missteps so that they're able to see themselves soberly and pursue growth. A well-structured punishment scene is an opportunity to refine behavior, solidify submission, and create a more profound emotional and erotic connection. But this requires a sophisticated approach. The 3 pillars of effective punishment that we're diving into today are anticipation and tension, control and presence, and aftercare and reintegration. Each of these elements is rooted in both emotional intelligence, the ability to perceive and manage one's own emotions and the emotions of others, and erotic intelligence, the ability to create seduction, tension, and desire in a relationship or power dynamic. And if you want to level up in these areas, don't miss my monthly Erotic Intelligence Masterclasses on Patreon, where I teach you how to use emotional intelligence to build unshakable authority, deepen submission, and create magnetic, lasting connections. This isn't just theory. It's real strategies to make your dominance irresistible. Click the link in the video's description and start leading with precision and purpose. Anticipation is one of the most powerful tools a dominant can wield, because when used correctly, it can make a punishment much more effective before it even begins. Think about how seduction works. The buildup is often more exhilarating than the climax. The tease, the denial, the uncertainty, the erotic tension, all of these elements amplify arousal. And punishment works the same way. A submissive's mind is often at their most vulnerable point. So let them sit with the knowledge that punishment is coming. Let them imagine it, fear it, crave its resolution. And to do so, you want to lean into 3 strategies. 1, use words wisely. A simple phrase like, "I'm very disappointed in you, but we'll have to deal with this later," is devastating because it creates an open loop in the submissive's mind. What will happen? How severe will it be? The unknown breeds tension. You also want to use time as a weapon. Punishing too quickly robs the submissive of the psychological impact. A delay allows emotions to simmer, making the eventual discipline much more meaningful. And you also want to make the lead-up erotic. Punishment does not have to be devoid of seduction, nor should it be. Maintaining dominance through soft whispers, a slow touch, or prolonged eye contact can turn the fear of discipline into a deeply arousing experience simultaneously. Punishment is foreplay in its own right. A submissive who has been forced to wait for their correction will be far more affected when the moment finally arrives. A punishment is never about the dominant's anger. I'll say that again. A punishment is never about the dominant's anger. It's about structure, order, and consequence. A highly effective dominant remains poised, controlled, and intentional by being mindful in 3 ways. By never punishing in anger. We don't want to lose control emotionally, because that will turn punishment into a personal reaction rather than a structured correction, and that can really damage trust. We also want to keep in mind that silence is powerful. Stillness, slow movements, and measured words communicate power far more than yelling or erratic behavior. The quieter you become, the more the submissive listens. You also want to make the punishment personal. The best punishments are tailored to the submissive's psychology. A masochist may laugh at physical pain, but they might dread verbal correction or a loss of privileges. The key here, dominants, is to identify the submissive's true pain points and use them effectively. A submissive should never fear the dominant, but they should fear disappointing them. And this is where emotional intelligence plays a crucial role. A dominant must read their submissive in the moment. Are they truly learning, or are they just enduring? Is this reverence I'm seeing, or genuine fear? Is the punishment fostering growth, or is it breeding resentment? An emotionally intelligent dominant does not just enforce discipline. They shape their submissive through it. Punishment is an intense psychological experience. The submissive has faced consequences, possibly been pushed to their emotional or physical limits, and has submitted to the authority of their dominant. If left unresolved, this can create lingering insecurity. And that's why aftercare is not just for play. It's essential for punishment scenes too. The purpose of aftercare in punishment is to reassure the submissive that they are still cherished, that the correction is over, and that the balance has been restored. And to do so, you want to lean into 3 things. The first, you want to affirm the lesson. So once the punishment is complete, make sure the submissive understands what they learned. This reinforces the structure and shows that the punishment is not arbitrary. 2, you want to rebuild the connection in aftercare. So physical touch, soothing words, or simply allowing the submissive to rest against you can reinforce great levels of emotional security. And you also want to restore the erotic energy. If appropriate, punishment can transition into something sensual, reintroducing pleasure after the pain has served its purpose. And this can strengthen the bond between dominant and submissive tremendously. Remember, the goal of punishment is never to alienate, but to refine. A submissive should leave a punishment scene with a stronger desire to obey, a deeper emotional connection to the dominant, and a renewed sense of purpose in their submission. Punishment is an art, and when executed with intention and erotic intelligence, it becomes more than correction. It becomes an intoxicating dance of power and surrender. And if you're ready to elevate your discipline game, join me on Patreon to access the powerful punishments bundle featuring 130 punishment activities designed to challenge, correct, and captivate your submissive, with a color-coded reference key for effortless scene planning, a comprehensive BDSM punishment guide to sharpen your skills, a list of 35 erotic ways to deny a submissive, 150 degradation play ideas for exploring psychological intensity, plus full-length erotic punishment stories to inspire your creativity. And if you're serious about deepening your dominance, don't miss my monthly Erotic Intelligence Masterclasses, where we dive deep into advanced techniques for seduction, control, and connection. Don't just correct, command with purpose. Join me on Patreon today and master the art of punishment and seduction.